Sweden pledges support to Sri Lanka to regain GSP Plus concession. Cabinet approves the amalgamation of Sri Lanka Airlines with a private entity. Former Speaker M.H. Mohammed passes away. Duminda Silva severely warned by courts.
Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Aishwarya Pinto. Let's take a look at the stories. Sweden's Foreign Minister Margot Wallström has pledged to provide every possible assistance to Sri Lanka to regain the GSP Plus facility. She made these remarks when she met with President Maithripala Sirisena.
The Foreign Minister of Sweden called on President Maithripala Sirisena at the Presidential Secretariat. During the meeting, Sweden's Foreign Minister and the President discussed in detail regarding the ways to strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries. According to the President's media division, the President requested Sweden's Foreign Minister to provide support for research activities in preventing kidney disease, which is spreading in Sri Lanka. The Swedish Foreign Minister commended the government's program to fulfill its responsibilities during the post-conflict period by ensuring the democracy and freedom of the people in Sri Lanka.
The 66th annual report of the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka for the year 2015 was released today. The central bank said it was holding rates unchanged in April, awaiting the result of higher interest rates.
According to the central bank report, the real economic growth in 2015 was registered as 4.8% compared with 4.9% in 2014. The report goes on to add that agriculture and services-related activities grew by 5.5% and 5.3% respectively. Meanwhile, industry-related activities grew by 3% during 2015. Inflation, as measured by the year-on-year change in the Colombo Consumers Price Index, was in negative territory during July to September 2015, mainly due to subdued commodity prices. However, by the end of 2015, year-on-year headline inflation was recorded at 2.8% compared to 2.1% at the end of 2014.
Yes, our reserves could probably be stronger than where they are. We started with a low reserve level last year, 4 months of imports or so. We managed to sort of keep that. Maybe it slid a little bit since then because we've had to repay debts that were coming due. But in the meantime, as you know, we've been talking to the IMF. And once these IMF negotiations are concluded, which I hope will be soon, then, we can re-enter the markets and borrow a little money.
The report goes on to add that efforts to reverse the downward trend in government tax and non-tax revenues were moderately successful, but overruns on the expenditure side of the government budget meant that the budget deficit grew to 7.4% of gross domestic product as against the targeted deficit of 4.4%. The modest performance of the current account, together with the decline in inflows to the financial account in the form of foreign direct investments or FDIs and loans to the government, banking and private sectors, and the withdrawal of foreign investments from the government securities market resulted in the balance of payments recording a deficit of US dollars 1,489 million.
So I think the outlook for the balance of payments was never in a crisis situation. We've always maintained close to 4 months of imports or thereabouts, and that I think is quite substantial. I think over 3 months of imports I think is adequate. Going forward, we intend to build on that. But the key thing is, Sri Lanka has seen an erosion in our export performance. From 30% of GDP a little over a decade ago, our exports are now down to 14% of GDP, which is simply not grow that.
In a headline-making story, Cabinet had granted approval for Sri Lankan Airlines to amalgamate with a private entity. Speaking to reporters today, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe elaborated on this. Following independence from colonial rule, Sir John Kothalavala commenced Air Ceylon in 1948 as the flag carrier airline of Sri Lanka in a bid to showcase independence and pride of the country. After an open economy policy was introduced to the country in 1977, Air Ceylon was rebranded as Air Lanka and modernized. Air Lanka, which was termed as Asia's best airline in the 80s, was a leader in the skies, introducing the Airbus A340 and A320 aircraft to its fleet. In 1998, Air Lanka, which was state-owned, was partially privatized with investment by Dubai-based Emirates Group, which obtained 51% of the shares and also overlooked the management. In 1998, Air Lanka rebranded to Sri Lanka Airlines. In 2008, during the Mahinda Rajapaksa administration, the government repurchased Sri Lankan Airlines after paying for the 51% of shares owned by the Emirates Group. Later, a plan was formulated to convert the airlines into a profit-making entity by 2017 with purchases of 7 Airbus A330s and 8 Airbus A350 models. Based on this decision, measures were taken to gradually remove 6 Airbus A340 aircraft from service. At present, the Sri Lankan Airlines fleet comprises of 22 aircraft. With a staff of 6,800, Sri Lankan Airlines operates to 94 destinations in 44 countries. Speaking at a media briefing in Colombo today, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that the losses incurred by Sri Lankan Airlines cannot be controlled through the economy.
Sri Lankan ගුවන් සේවයේ ණය
Sri Lankan Airlines has a total debt of $3.252 billion. In rupees, that's 460 billion. Sri Lankan cannot repay this debt. Therefore, we decided that the government will be taking over some of its debt and will seek a partner who can manage the airline so that it would not incur any more debt in the future. There is debt for purchasing aircraft. 4 of the aircraft ordered have not even been produced. We have to take action on that. In addition, we have agreed to have a debate in Parliament on the second week of May.
දවස් දෙකක විවාදයක් මේ පිළිබඳව පවත්වනවා.
මේ තෙල් මිල අඩු කාලෙත් ගුවන් සේවයාවක් ගෙනියන්න බැරි නම්
If we cannot continue operations of an airline at a time when the fuel prices are at low and when this is a burden to the treasury, we need to fear the future. The cabinet discussed and decided that this airline will not be shut down. However, cabinet had decided to partner with a powerful airline or entrepreneur to bring this airline to its previous state. This decision was taken to prevent the entire economy from falling apart. No one will lose their jobs. There need not be any doubt about that.
රැකියා ආරෝපණ ගැන ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇති වෙයි කියලා එහෙම දෙයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Minister Dr. Sarath Amanugama commented on Sri Lankan Airlines becoming a loss-incurring entity after moving away with the partnership with the Emirates Group.
සුගිය ආණ්ඩුව ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම මුදල් අමාත්‍ය
The previous government and the media were totally against it. Decisions have been taken. This is a decision that needs to be debated. However, we hope that it will be a good move based on the experience that it was failure.
අති අසාර්ථක වැඩක්.
Not yet. We hope to bring in an airline or investors. The ministry has been instructed to look for a company that can provide advice on this matter from Sri Lanka. It will not be sold. We will enter into a partnership. We have to repay $3.2 billion in debt. If we continue like this, the expenses will be higher. And if the fuel prices increase, the losses will be added. No decision has been made. I will not be using my name for that.
It has been revealed that among the aircraft ordered through Sri Lankan Airlines was a luxury aircraft for a president. Will it be brought down to the country or has the order been cancelled?
Sadly, that order has been cancelled. If not, we could have been able to sleep when we travel. The President and I travel in normal aircraft.
When loans are obtained through the IMF, it has been decided to operate loss-making institutions through partnerships.
We need to increase the revenue and we have discussed it with the IMF. They have their views about this and so do we. We will implement the best plan. There were discussions. I met with them. We are awaiting their response.
May Day falls on Sunday and politicians continue to comment on the May Day rallies that will take place this year.
The invitation that we extended to Mahinda Rajapaksa to attend this rally was accepted by him. We are pleased that he has blessed us to make this a success.
We believe that Mahinda Rajapaksa would not resort to any action that would split the party. Therefore, we hope he would make the correct decision. There need not be any punishments or disciplinary inquiry. However, everyone must understand all the facts.
It's fine to insult us. We have been insulted before. However, these are funds from the supporters. These funds are used against the government that betrays the people. Do not insult them.
Following the defeat on the 8th of January, there was talk within the party that ministers who went overseas were the cause of the party's loss. Now they have come again to organize this. There was talk questioning whether they've made provisions for the January 8th loss, or are they now trying to prevent the rise of Sri Lanka Freedom Party government. When plans were drawn for the 17th of January, there was objection against the inclusion of the previous group. However, that group has come forward and it is they who are creating internal issues.
Mahinda Rajapaksa has made a decision to attend the Kirulapana rally. What was the election manifesto when the country went for the parliamentary polls? We sought a mandate to make Mahinda Rajapaksa the Prime Minister. If Mahinda Rajapaksa is not the Prime Minister and if it is Ranil Wickremesinghe, take the seat in the opposition. We respect the people's mandate and we accept any challenge that comes across.
They are attempting to bring people to Kirulapana to indulge the government to conceal the rogues and the thefts of the past administration. We have got word that this is what they hope for through the May Day rally in Kirulapana.
Interviews were held today to appoint new electorate organisers for the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
A large group arrived for the interviews, which took place at the party head office located at Dali Road in Colombo. Organisers of several districts have applied for these positions and we today called for the interview. We had an unexpected turnout of candidates. No, there is nothing of that sort. Some of the previous organisers are also here today. Several of our MPs and organisers who worked with the joint opposition will be left out here. If one does not work, there is no point in how long that person served as an organiser. If there is an inactive organiser there, they will be replaced by someone who is active.
2 young girls were killed after being run over by a train in the Welawatha area last night.
I faced what I conquer, and I might get knocked down.
Now, the 2 girls had tried to cross this railway crossing at around 7:30 last night when they were knocked down by the train plying from Colombo to Kalutara at that point.
This is a picture of Imeshi Pereira, which was posted on a social media website just over 2 years ago. She fearlessly poses on a rail track. Little would she have known that she would breathe her last on a similar rail track. 2 friends, Imeshi Yasara Pereira and Sharon Silva, were run over by an intercity train plying from Maradana to Kalutara. The duo were students of Holy Family Convent Bambalapitiya and had attended the last day of their school lives yesterday. They were final year advanced level students. The 2 girls were in the Welawatha area around 7:30 last night to attend a party at a hotel along the beach. Tragedy had struck when the 2 girls had crossed the rail track to go to the hotel.
They crossed the tracks, they did not hear nor see the train. When the car was being parked, the 2 girls had tried to cross and they were hit by the trains. The train could not even blow its horn at that second.
The 2 girls were killed on the spot and their bodies were placed at the Colombo South Teaching Hospital.
The funeral of the late M.H. Mohammed, a former Speaker of Parliament, took place this evening at the Kuppiyawatta Muslim burial grounds in Colombo.
The remains of the late Al-Hajj M.H. Mohammed was placed at his residence located down Bauda Lokamawata in Boralat since this morning. The President, the Prime Minister and many other politicians were among those present to pay their last respects.
M.H. Mohammed dominated the politics of Sri Lanka for 6 decades. Starting as a member of the Municipal Council, he ended up being the Speaker, the 3rd highest post in the country. He helped to strengthen the relations with other Muslim countries. Mr. Mohammed also has to be remembered as the first Minister for Muslim Affairs in Sri Lanka. Let us thank him for all the services he rendered this country, and may Allah be able to guide him to the heaven that he deserves.
When we visit the Middle East, we're termed as citizens from the country of Emmet Mohammed. He was a Muslim leader who was famous far and wide. He was a leader who was brave enough to meet Rajiv Gandhi and inform him the devastation caused by terrorism to the country. He was also a leader who loved and respected the people in the country. The highest position a Muslim can achieve is the position of a speaker. He faced all the challenges that came his way, and he always said that he will be doing the right thing. I think passing of Emmet Mohammed is a great loss to the country and also to the whole world. He was considered as a very renowned speaker in Sri Lankan history. I was his opponent in the Boral electorate, and I served with him in the opposition for a long time. He was also friendly. He was an example to all Muslim parliamentarians. He rendered an insurmountable service for the unity of Sinhalese and Muslims in the country.
Muhammad Hanifa Muhammad was born on the 15th of June 1921 as the fifth child to a very renowned family in Colombo. Educated at Wesley College, Colombo, he entered active politics in 1944. He was elected as a Colombo municipal councillor and later was elected as the mayor of Colombo in 1960. In 1965, he contested the Boral electorate at the general elections and recorded a resounding victory with a majority of Sinhala Buddhist votes in the area. He served as a Minister of Labour and Employment during the Dudley Naik administration, making an early entry into national level politics. Emmet Mohammed won the Boral electorate under the United National Party ticket in 1977 and was appointed the Minister of Transport under the J.R. Jayawardena government. He was then elected as the 14th Speaker of the Sri Lankan Parliament. It was during his tenure as Speaker that the word impeachment made its entry into the Sri Lankan political dictionary, and the process in this regard was introduced. As Speaker, the process he followed in resolving a constitutional issue against then President late Ranasinghe Premadasa is still spoken of in the hallways of the Sri Lankan Parliament. On the 28th of January 2007, Emmet Mohammed made an unexpected political decision when he crossed over to the United People's Freedom Alliance government together with 18 UNP parliamentarians. The late Emmet Mohammed was a senior-most member of the World Muslim League and was also the Vice President of the World Muslim Congress. Married to Noor Nazima, the late Emmet Mohammed was a father of 7. Muhammad Hanifa Muhammad, known as Emmet Mohammed, who served as a true leader of the people, casting aside every social difference, will not be forgotten.
The hearing of evidence from the defendants in the Bharata Lakshman murder case took place today. The evidence was heard before a 3-judge bench comprising of High Court judges Shrirani Gunaratna, Padmini N. Ranawaka and D.S. Moraes.
When evidence was being heard from Ravi Jayanath, who is the third suspect in the murder case, former parliamentarian Dominda Silva had left the courtroom without the permission of court. At this instance, the judges had summoned Dominda Silva to the courtroom once again and civilly warned the former parliamentarian that he request for the court's permission if he is to leave the courts and that such behaviour should not be repeated. The attorney representing Dominda Silva had noted that the former parliamentarian had left the courtroom to drink water. The High Court judges had stated that the court must be informed if such a need arises and that the court can in fact make arrangements to provide such facilities. The case is to be taken up once again on the 3rd of May.
The Kadwala magistrate granted bail to an individual who was arrested and later remanded for loitering near the Bathramulla office of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The suspect was ordered to be released on a surety bail of 200,000 rupees.
35-year-old Niruksha Nandakumara from Hokandra was arrested by the Thalangama police after a complaint filed by a group of persons from the office of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The suspect was released after being produced before the Kadwala magistrate Dhammika Semapala, and the case was postponed till the 4th of October. I went to help him and now I'm a suspect. I can't go on the road. People have made up different stories about me. People say I'm affiliated to RAW. They say that I'm a part of NIB. People ask me about this and I simply nod my head and smile because I don't know anything. I don't understand.
2 suspects were arrested in Navagategama for the possession of 220 kilograms of Kerala ganja.
The police had received a tip that narcotics were being transported from Mannar to Kochikade. Police had installed an emergency roadblock in the Navagattegam area to raid the vehicle transporting the narcotics. As the car that reached the roadblock did not stop to police orders, the police were in pursuit of the car. Meanwhile, another suspicious car that was travelling towards the Vanyamunakola village met with an accident after speeding. The residents of the area helped the police to take the people in the car into custody. 220 kilograms of cannabis was found while searching the suspicious car.
Even teachers make mistakes. This is a saying which we've heard at numerous times since our childhood.
A recent incident within the Yala National Park goes on to show that even the best can make a mistake at any moment.
Like any usual day at the Yala National Park, a driver of a safari jeep entered the premises of the natural reserve with a group of tourists, hoping to show them the best of sights. The driver, Sampath, has years of experience in safari jeep driving at the park. On this particular day, Sampath's jeep came face to face with Gamunu, a majestic tusker living in the Yala National Park. Gamunu shows tendency to eat what is offered by the visitors and most of the time gets his food by force. These safari jeep drivers have experienced this situation on many occasions and are never troubled when Gamunu makes his approach. However, as Sampath noticed a change in the stroll of this tusker, put his jeep into reverse and brought distance between the jeep and the elephant. Gamunu is not a troublesome animal. However, on that day his behavior was different. He was worried if he would cause trouble.
මට විශේෂයෙන්ම ඉල්ලා හිටිනෝනේ මේ සෆාරි ජීප් ප්‍රතිසේවයේ යෙදෙන රියදුරු මහත්තුරුන්ට මේ සතා මාර්ගය යනනම් ඒ සතාට යන්න ඉඩ සලසලා දෙන්න කියලා තමයි ඉල්ලා හිටින්න තියෙන්නේ.
While he was speeding in reverse, another jeep in the vicinity met with an accident. Fortunately, no one was injured. Amidst all the commotion and ruckus from the visitors and jeep drivers, Gamunu, who was simply a spectator of this incident, ventured into the dense forest. Several days prior to this incident, Gamunu had put his trunk into a jeep in search of food and also damaged a camera of a foreign visitor to the national park.
Oh my God! There's cameras!
See that? We got to go now. We got to go. We're staring.
The Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited is prepared to introduce a new Sinhala movie to its Sri Lankan cinema audiences. The launch ceremony for the movie took place today at the auditorium of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited head office.
In 1981, the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited introduced the Tamil film T, starring Indian superstar Rajinikanth, and the organisation had selected Indian movie Drishyam as its second creation.
Now we believe once again the time is right for us to enter into film production, as we can see that the environment is conducive and to progression in the industry. We as a forward-thinking media and also recognized as Sri Lanka's national media, we have taken an active role in preserving the arts. With the launch of Dharma Yuga, which is the beginning of our venture into filmmaking, this is part of our entertainment offer to Sri Lankan audiences. We believe that this industry will benefit from this and provide opportunities to many such talented people, as well as provide employment and bring about an increase in the film-going audiences in Sri Lanka who are looking for quality entertainment.
There were certain things which is very critical for filmmaking. I think all of you know. The first important thing is a producer for the film, because that is where everything starts. You have to produce a film. Someone has to invest. And I was very fortunate that I work in a group which understands, which motivates, and also stands with you throughout. So I was very fortunate to get our group doing this film, which is my passion.
The film, first produced in Malayalam in 2013, was later remade in 4 different languages. The movie, titled Pabanasam, produced in Tamil, featured the performance of the famous actor Kamal Haasan. This movie was translated to the Sinhala language under the title Dharma Yuddha. Actors Jackson Anthony and Dilhani Asokamala have been cast in the lead roles of the movie, which will begin filming on the 29th of this month.
As a person in the cinema industry, I can say that at this time when the cinema industry in Sri Lanka is losing its place and when various organizations and media are trying to revive it, the decision taken by MTV MBC is of paramount importance, because a group that is not aiming to bring it down is creating a movie together. The Indian cinema industry has been very exemplary. I consider this movie as an Asian movie, and it cannot be classified to one particular area. The Asian family is facing an issue. The Asian family is in turmoil. With this rise in technology, how the family faces the issues at hand. We are pleased to be part of this creation.
Jitendra Gunasena now joins us with a climate outlook for South Asia.
Hello and welcome to the Climate Outlook for South Asia Summer Monsoon 2016. Now, the southwest monsoon, which is due in June until September, is expected to bring great relief for the South Asian region, as many parts are expected to have normal to above normal rainfall. The weather and climate of South Asia is dominated by the southwest monsoon. The South Asian Seasonal Climate Outlook Forum, also known as SASCOF-8, which comprises of a panel of experts and organizations from the countries of the likes of Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, Myanmar, Maldives, India, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, was established by the World Meteorological Organization. Now, according to SASCOF-8, most parts of South Asia will receive normal to above normal rainfall from the monsoon season. Above normal rainfall is expected over the central and western parts of the region, and below normal rainfall is expected over the eastern and the southeastern parts of the peninsula. And as for the remaining parts of the region, normal rainfall is anticipated to occur.
Minister of Sports Dasri Jayasekara says the selection committee of Sri Lanka cricket, headed by Sanath Jayasuriya, will be appointed in the coming few days. The minister made the statement while addressing an event in Colombo today.
An adventurous black bear was spotted on the run in a residential neighborhood in California.
The bear scrambled through backyards and scaled fences as it tried to avoid being captured by wildlife officials and Los Angeles police.
And that's a wrap of the news for tonight. I'm Aishwarya Pinto.
And I'm Shen Silva. Take care and good night.